opponents. And these guys, the Czech Republics, are up against two very good young opponents in China, Dang Jinhu and Wang Can. There you see Wang Can on your left. He is one of the most promising young players, not just out of China, but in the world today, and just a super clutch player. Both these players from China, it's the first time we've seen these two in the World Cup of Pool, but they played together on a winning team in the World Pool Team Championship recently, which was a four-person teams just a few months ago, and they won the gold medal. So they've actually played together in doubles play before in that tournament. And I can tell you, because I was there watching it in Beijing, and they were super, super clutch. So they have experience playing together.
Well, these two have never won the event, even though China has won the event twice. But they've got to carry their flag high and proud.
And China opting to go for a younger squad than we have seen before.
Yeah, but they brought the talent with them, Ted.
There's Dang Jinhu. A member of China's national team. Wang Can, also on the Chinese national team. Wang's actually spent quite a little bit of time traveling around and playing in tournaments in the United States, and that's a real experience builder when you do that, especially with the language barrier and everything.
Yes, I noticed that. Won the New York Open not long ago. You really do harden your skill set when you travel around and play in foreign countries. A lot of barriers, the least of which is language, obviously, but you see exactly what the world has to offer and where you stand in the pecking order.
This is Michal Gavinciak from the Czech Republic. His teammate in Roman Hybler, much more familiar to pool fans who followed the sport for years. Roman's been around for well over a decade. Back in the early 2000s, he was one of the top players in the world, and he did quite well in some of the world championships. And then he sort of, we didn't hear much from Roman for a while, and I think he had some personal problems. And he said he's got his life together now and a new girlfriend, and he's residing in Germany actually, and feeling much better about his game. He did very well, by the way, in the World 9-Ball Championship this year. He upset Mika Immonen in the knockout stages.
Well, he's a very capable player, obviously, Roman, but the Czech side, no. They did not come into this match as favorites. But I like their approach in their pre-match interviews, where they just, they know they just got to play the table. Don't worry about the opponents. Balls as they lie. They dictate how the match will unfold, Ted.
Well, Jim, you being a former pro, how difficult is it to convince your mind that you're just playing the table when you're faced with a superstar sitting in the other chair?
When you can focus yourself and just concentrate on that 4.5 by 9 foot surface. I actually played snooker professionally, and I used to play matches. When I played well, I never knew. You could have fired cannons off beside the table. I wouldn't have heard them.
So even if you were playing a legend on the other side and you were playing well, you didn't even realize who you were playing.
Well, the key words were when I was playing well. This is a chance, though. First gilt-edged opportunity in the first rack. And he's letting the cue go. He's got to clear that 9, and he didn't. Bit of a risky way to play that shot. I mean, that 9 was always in the equation, taking it around the angles like that. You can see, had he just either a little lighter, a little more pace in the shot, might have been all right.
That will work for the moment. Not an easy shot here.
Yeah, Roman's having a real good look at it. There might be half a pocket available in this, but cue ball very near the cushion. Oh, this looks tough even from where we're sat.
Yeah, not only did he have the distance, Jim, he had to dig into that and hit it hard, and boy, plenty could go wrong there, and it did.
Yeah, not the sort of shot you want to take on, not so early in the match where you haven't settled in. And we always talk about the match table, how it slides, and you saw some very errant kick shots in our first match with the young Australian player from Adelaide, and that was just because these rails were sliding a little bit more than what he was accustomed to. And they do not get a chance to practice on this match table. They have practice tables set upstairs, and they don't play anywhere near what this table plays like.
Well, and you know, they're playing on this match table. They're surrounded by cameras. We're live around the world. There's a lot of variables that can really throw you for a loop. You know, this is a lot different than playing on an outside table in a tournament where nobody's watching. And this is why I would think that this would favor the young Chinese team, because they've had the experience in China of playing in front of millions of people. Yes, you heard that right, millions of people. And that's the kind of crowds, the kind of audiences they get in China tune in to watch pool on television.
It's the Chinese team when two-time winners aren't even here representing the country.
Well, that's why, if it had been Fu and Lee, because they were for many years, and everybody who follows pool knew that team and how good they played together, I would say that they would be one of the favorites. In this case, yes, these two could win it, but I look at them more as a dark horse. Strong dark horse.
Like every other sport, though, Ted, youth must be served. And he's got a chance. Good break here. Got the one into the side. He's got a possible bank shot here on the two, and it avails position 3 the same side of the table, so worth taking this bank on. Well, he's left half a chance, half at best. Got to dial long distance on this too. And then he's going to have to play it to try and leave an opening to get to the 3 should he get it. Well worth the risk, that bank shot. It was never going to be easy. And he tried to roll it and stay above the 8 and 9 to leave the 3 on. I'm not sure he left the 3 even if he had gotten that 2. He'll just make sure he leaves the cue ball on the left-hand side of the table here. He's not going to take any chances. Well, I say that. Now he's overhit that. Oh, he's lucky. He's lucky he's clipped the 4. If he doesn't hit the 4, he's snookered. Nicely controlled.
Yeah, I think if these two start to play together and gel together well, you think you're going to be mighty impressed.
Well, Ted, you and I have already talked about it with Team Finland. I really like it when I see players that play at the same speed in general. So they don't counter each other's ability.
That's right. If you're a fast player and you're playing with a partner who's slow, it's really going to mess with your rhythm.
Well, they do make it look easy when they get in gear. And 2-0. China in front of the Czech Republic. And I have to say, looking full value for that lead. And very strong. But it must be said, little fortunate. The shot right here on the 2, he overhit this. And if he doesn't clip that 4, he's in no man's land on the 3.
Guess you got to get a bit lucky sometimes. Luck is part of 9-ball. And from there, they made it look real easy. Just like that layup of a 9-ball right there. Wang Can and Dang Jinhu, his partner.
Making their first appearance in the World Cup of Pool. They look anything but overawed, Ted.
The 1 does not go this time. And that is going to be an illegal break. Rather, a dry break. And the 1 is open. So, you got to figure, Jim, that Czech Republic, they know right now what they're up against. They've seen how smooth and how calm these Chinese players are. They got to get this rack.
Yeah, they'll be thinking 3 shots ahead right now. Well, I think he's left that a little tricky. Roman's just showing him where he can leave it, but he's got to stay below the 4 to leave the 3 on. I thought he'd try and leave this 2 a little straighter. That would have made position to the 3 just a little easier. Just got to be a bit careful here. He may even be spinning the cue ball a bit. He did have to spin the cue ball. So nice effort, that one, to keep his partner at the table. And looks like he's open on the 3. And I say it looks like he's open on the 3. He is. Now everything's in the open here, Ted. This is the sort of opportunity that the Czech Republic have to put full use of.
Absolutely, Jim, because it's a short race to 7. Winner breaks. If you don't take advantage of this rack, I mean, this match could be out of reach quickly.
And this is tricky. He's got to get top side of the table, the opposite end. He's going to have to thump this in and work the cue ball. Pretty good shot.
Well, everything is elementary at this point, but it's not over till that 9-ball drops. So, getting that first rack can be tricky.
Well, they shouldn't have to move the cue ball around too much more now. In fairness, the hard work in this rack has been done. Well, again, he just leaves his partner just a little more awkward than he needed to. Just short of position this time. Thin cut on that 8.
Extension code.
The cue ball's traveling, and it really doesn't need to be traveling. A little straighter on this, and he'd have been able to just draw back down for the 9. Now he's got to take it across the table. See, and you see what I mean? Now, once you run out of position, it's almost like you're digging a hole and the dirt's coming in on you.
Yeah, we see it time and again, Jim. It's always a slippery slope when you lose position. It's very hard to get back into position. But Roman Hybler makes amends. Well, that cue ball's got to slow down. Oh, and it does just at the last moment. So the Czech Republic gets one back. They trail 2-1, and they'll be breaking when we come back. And this is Roman Hybler of the Czech Republic. Just in the nick of time, the Czechs got one back. See that watch he's wearing, Jim? I always wondered about it, players. I mean, it's a heavy metal watch. Why does it players like to play with watches on?
Well, you talk about, maybe bracing that bridge arm. Earl Strickland, who we'll see tonight from the USA, he wears a weight. I don't know if he'll have it with him, but he wears a weight on his arm to try and stabilize that bridge arm. I doubt very much that Roman is wearing the watch for those purposes, but it is a big watch, Ted. Good shot. Well, every chance now for the Czech Republic here.
Earl's likely to come with like Mickey Mouse ears on his arm. I mean, every time we see Earl, he's got something different going. He's got extenders. He's got
sunglasses. Yeah. I can't wait to see him tonight. And
LED vibrating lights on it.
And all our pool fans in TV land, you'll be tuning in tonight. Earl Strickland, Shane Van Boning, they'll be making their appearance up against Croatia. It'll be our second match this evening. Can't wait for that one.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, and inexcusable. If he thought he was running into that 6 there, I wonder if he's left a 4-6 combination. Roman's coming over to have a look at it. That might be his only aggressive option. But there's no excuse for losing position there. They were ideally situated. Well, he's got to overcut the 4 to try and make the 6.
And he didn't make it. And this is a bit of an easier shot for Team China on the combination.
Yeah, guaranteed it is. You can't see China missing this one. And the beauty of it with the 6 a little closer to the corner, position was almost guaranteed. And this is really the only tricky shot that China will be looking at in this, the 4th rack, just from the 4 to the 5. And he's overhit it.
And that was because he didn't have the ideal position there.
Thin cut on this 5.
Jim, it's always really hard to get that really good position when you're coming off a combination shot like that. Oh, that's well played. But, okay. Wang will take this on. He'll be cutting this in the corner. too hard. And he has left that on. Big opportunity now for Czech Republic.
Well, we've seen a couple examples, Ted, of when you lose position, things just tend to get worse. And it's happened to the Czech Republic in one of the racks. It just happened to China there. Just left themselves too much to do. And as strong as China started this match out, they've started to falter somewhat. And the first 4 racks have been split here at the Mountbatten Center. 2-2, and momentum has definitely changed chairs.
China won the first 2. Czech Republic battling back, winning the next 2. Race to 7, so it'll be Czech Republic. And there's the shot. It was a very nice cut on that 5 ball. But again, this actually went back several shots in which they were playing out of position, and that's why it ended up with the table being handed over to the Czech Republic. That just illustrates to our fans how important precision position play is in pool. It really is a game of millimeters.
Yeah, and what a high level these players perform at, too, and the expectations placed on them. You know, you see the balls in the open, you kind of expect them to get out because they play at that type of level. It's almost a surprise when they don't. But don't ever discount the pressure out there.
The 1 ball goes into the side pocket. And will they end up with a shot on the 2?
Absolutely. Straight down to the corner pocket. Don't have to do anything with the 3. 4 at the same end of the table.
So Michal Gavinciak, with a excellent break off, leaving a very nice layout for his partner, Roman Hybler.
Important now, he's got to leave himself angle. If he wants to stay high, yeah, I like the way Roman has just told him. He said, get low, try and get that cue ball near the bottom cushion, leaving the angle to run up for the 5. I like this plan of attack much better than staying high. You'll just spin this off that right-hand cushion. I wouldn't mind being straight in on the 6. It'll just be a stop shot to leave the 7 to the bottom right corner. These players, when they look at the balls and they're sitting like this, in their mind, they see the sequence and how they want to attack them. More times than not, thinking about 3 shots ahead. And that looks pretty straight, so just a stop shot for Roman.
Yeah, they've done this layout millions of times. They see the path clearly to the 9 ball. So, our good old friend Mr. Momentum clearly appears to be on the side of Czech Republic.
He's got to be clear in his mind how he wants to play this, above or below the 9. He's gone below. This Czech Republic team is starting to look like they fancy this. A little bit more at ease. And their positional play is starting to look a lot sharper too, Ted. Always a sign of a team that's in control of their emotions. 3-2. They now lead. They've won 3 in a row. And they will break in rack number 6.
They've stayed in the moment. We often talk about that, the psychological aspect of the sport and how important it is. Jim, what percentage do you think the psychological part is a part of the game? Because clearly they're all playing at a tremendously high technical level.
Yeah, you have to believe. You know, you have that, all the practice hours you put in on the table, the fundamentals, everything's, you know, ideally it's mechanics, and you want to become very robotic, and then it's from the shoulders up. They all have the ability. You just have to believe. And
I've had some players tell me they think that the psychological aspect of professional pools, 80% of the game is psychological.
To break, leading 3 racks.
Yeah, I might even go higher.
Higher. Amazing.
Hybler settling himself, digging into the break. Rack number 6, the race to 7. And they're 3-2 up.
Well, the 1 ball goes down in the side. The green 6 is down, and he's got a shot on the blue 2.
Yeah, and the 3 near the corner pocket.
Well, look at that 7 ball.
Yeah, that's the problem ball. As the balls sit right now, Ted, that's the insurance policy for Team China. Not available. And I guarantee you the Czech Republic is already thinking about that 7. They've given themselves the 3, the 4. So important, the angle from the 5. And that's exactly what Roman Hybler's looking at right now. From the 5 to the 7. And it's tough to tell whether they can get below the 8 and leave a possible bank on with the 7 as well. Be very interested to see how they attack this. Could have been worse.
The problem is, Jim, with the 7 ball is that there's really not many places to hide when you only have 3 balls left on the table.
Well, you know, though, Ted, if they decide they want to take the defensive option, they can try and get the cue ball near the bottom cushion as we look, and would certainly avail a good attacking safety.
Yeah, that 8 ball.
Extension call.
Looks like he's got just a margin of angle here with which to work, but they're talking about the bank now from that area. Players never like to, well, he doesn't have much angle at all, really. Got to be careful drawing this. Well, he's played for the bank.
Yeah, this was always going to be the shot of the rack here, this 7 ball.
And the cue ball looks like it's going to be careening into the 8. So position is not guaranteed. He's not banking it. He's throwing the aggressive option out the window. This is safety. I think if Roman would have got that cue ball up the table, maybe another 3-4 inches, his partner would have gone after the bank shot. It was just a little too tricky, and like I said, position wasn't guaranteed, so why risk it? But China's happy to get out of their chairs.
Yeah, for 15 minutes, it's been all Czech Republic. Czech Republic was down 2-0. They've won 3 straight.
That's a great effort. Got to hit a cushion. How's that for control? That was the only way he could get that 7 safe. And it had to be judged to perfection. Looks like he's trying to draw this over and behind the 9.
That's going to be tough, but nicely done. It's open, but it's nothing easy there.
Yeah, this is a risky shot, and he's looking at it. It's a thin cut into the bottom left corner as we look.
Well, he's young. He might just take it on. Oh, very brave.
What a shot. That ball, look at his partner smiling. That ball flew in. Watch this.
That's one of the best shots we've seen in the tournament.
It never touched the rail.
And just in time, Jim, because big difference in a race to 7, 4-2, 3-3, because, I mean, that's a very, very brave shot. I think you really got to be a young man to pull off that shot. Fearless.
Tremendous shot from Team China. And brings them to level pegging against the Czech Republic. 3-3 in the race to 7. Back with more from the World Cup of Pool following the break. Headlock, 3 apiece. China versus the Czech Republic. And China securing the last rack, and with it the break here in rack number 7.
Well, that shot on the 7 ball by, I was just going to say, he had a big pep in his step now, but he let that cue ball get away from him, and that is a foul. That was really his own fault. You know, these players do their best to try to keep the cue ball in the center of the table. Of course, you've got all these balls flying around, and a lot of times the ball does get kicked, but that cue ball was already down at that end of the table, which isn't what he wanted.
Big shot, this first one. Position from the 1 to the 2. Well, the 2 obviously passes the 3. Didn't look like it did, but now I take that statement back. Straightforward, really. Just got to ensure to leave a nice angle on that 3 to get up table for the 4. And you know, we haven't had to introduce the shot clock. Ted, these guys are playing at a real good speed. There's no hanging about. 30-second shot clock, though, they have to be mindful of. And each team allowed 1 30-second extension per rack.
So Roman Hybler now with the pink 4. They're going to have to work this cue ball around in the next few shots. 5 to the 6.
Yeah, he's left an angle where his partner should be able to get the cue ball over the left-hand side of the table as we look. Play the 6 bottom right. The only danger in shots like that is you've got to take that side pocket out of the equation, and he did that nicely. You know, you're not really a player until you've got a nickname. And Michal's nickname is Gavi. You ever get a nickname, Ted?
Ted. Yeah, you called, didn't you? I was Ted Turner yesterday.
You'd like to have been Ted Turner.
Maybe his bank account.
Yeah, story of my career. I never had a nickname either, so that says it all.
Jim, you never had a nickname?
No,
How is
nothing
that
I can,
possible?
nothing I can say on air.
Well, this has been a really nicely played rack off the scratch, and Jim, to be honest, you know, this has turned into a very high quality match. These are two very good teams.
Yeah, when they've had a chance, they've put pay to it. They've certainly let the favorite Chinese pairing know that they're here. Not that you needed to tell them. You see very little emotion from them. That's pretty standard. I mean, you see a lot from the Filipino side. Dennis and Lee Van, when they won the event last year, they were dancing, and boy, how can you forget those pictures?
Well, in general, you know, the Filipinos, they often called the Latins of Asia, and that would also indicate, you know, very emotional, and they love the drama and everything. Whereas, you know, the Chinese and the Chinese players from Chinese Taipei never show emotion.
All business.
All business, and they're sort of taught to keep their emotions in check, which can be a good thing in pool because it can be a very emotional sport. It can be a roller coaster ride.
Michal with the break. One thing for certain too, Ted, if you've got a break of note, and pretty well all of these players can break when they need to, you can steamroll your opponent.
So there's a ball down. It's the orange 5 and a shot on the 1. So Michal Gavinciak continues to break well, which is a massive plus for the Czech Republic.
And his partner, the Czech attack, Roman Hybler. He's got a tricky one. He's going to have to slow roll this or dig into the cue ball. His preference. Yeah, made the shot a little tougher. But did he get lucky? Yeah, he's not left anything on the 1 but a safety. Just consulting with his partner, but can't get through to enough of this. He can hit it. Almost looks like a fine clip
Extension
on the
call.
side. He should be able to try and get that cue ball behind cover. Tough shot for Wang, this one. Now he's looking to try and spin it. And either way, he wants to put distance between the two balls, Ted. That's the one factor that's going to be consistent. But this isn't easy. Well,
Foul shot. Ball in hand.
Wow.
well, in fact, it was Dang that played the shot, not Wang. Wang was the one that was lining it up originally, but that's a huge mistake.
Did not go well.
You know, when you try and spin the cue ball, you have to account for what they call deflection. And the top players are all very well aware of that. But every now and then it just peeks its head out, and that was an example of where they just didn't allow for the deflection and misjudged it, because he had to spin the cue ball there.
And what a chance now for the Czech Republic. I mean, you'd have to have favored. We favored China going into this match, but you know, this is. I was aware of Roman Hybler. I've seen him play many times. I knew he was playing well. The question mark here was Gavinciak, and he has made a very good account of himself. He's a great team player.
Yeah, all credit to European Tour events, you have to feel.
That's right. It's a very competitive tour, really, really hard to win. And, you know, Hybler, he was took 5th place in this event in 2006 when he played in it. 3 times he's gotten 9th place at the World Pool Championship. And, you know, that was an event that had 128 of the best players in the world when it took place. So this guy can play. I know, as I said earlier in the broadcast, Jim, that, you know, Roman has really come back strong as he's got his personal life in order. And he's been a lot more comfortable on the table in the last year. He showed it at this year's World 9-Ball Championship when he upset Mika Immonen.
You don't ever need to say anything more than that. That statement in itself speaks volumes. You know, to be able to beat a player the ilk of a Mika Immonen at any time.
And he told me afterwards, and that story about how, you know, he was one of the top players in the world back in 2003, 2004, 2005. And then, you know, the personal issues sort of got in the way, and his game went down, and now he's back. And he just feels good about pool, and he plays a lot, lives in Germany. And they're looking really strong here to go up 5-3. And they've got the break. I wouldn't call it, if they go on to win, I wouldn't call it a major upset. I'd call it a mild upset, but quite an accomplishment.
Well, 5-3 in front. I still think that there's going to be a little to be said from Team China, though.
Absolutely.
But like you, I think it would be a mild upset, something along the lines of France over Italy. But this in-off completely misjudged the safety. And he was spinning the cue ball there and, you know, just misjudged it.
So I believe it'll be Roman who will, yep, he's got the break cue. Roman Hybler. Looks pretty fierce, but I can tell you he's a really nice guy.
Rack 9, Czech Republic's break, leading 5 racks to 3.
Good break here would go a long way to solidifying a place in the last 16. No stranger to the business end. He and his partner, Michal, finishing 5th back in 2006.
Out.
Oh, that's
inexcusable.
And
that was a direct scratch. No, nothing kicked the cue ball in.
Ted, that is a momentum stopper by anybody's standards.
Absolutely. And sometimes you think maybe, you know, we often talk about playing the table. Perhaps in his mind, he was either listening to me and it was getting to his head. Well, I think you know, we often talk about those pool gods, Jim. Yeah, they're looking down now. That's you're right. That is unforgivable.
And that could be a turning point. Mark that one down. No, that was a good break. He made 3 balls off the break. If he could have kept that cue ball on the table, could well have been 6-3. And now 5-4 and China breaking. I couldn't bet on the Czech Republic anymore.
Do you think that he scratched like that because perhaps the adrenaline where he's thinking, hey, we have a chance to win, rather than just play a typical regular break shot.
I wouldn't discount that at all. I mean, there's a lot of pressure out there, and you always say you have to embrace it, but, you know, putting the lasso on that adrenaline, because, you know, they're all feeling it.
And that's what we were talking about earlier, that psychological aspect. Can't get ahead of yourself. You got to take it one shot at a time. I know that's easier said than done, right, Jim?
But someone with the experience of a Roman Hybler, you'd have to feel that, you know, he shouldn't be overawed in any way. But a good clearance, a very timely one by China, pulling one back. 5-4, they still trail the Czech Republic, but to break in rack number 10 when we come back.
China thrown a lifeline with that scratch on the break by Roman Hybler. The Czech Republic was up 5-3. They were breaking well. They had a chance to go up 6-3. But within a matter of a minute and a half after that scratch, it's now 5-4 in favor of Czech Republic, with China grabbing the momentum. Coming up next, Chinese Taipei, one of the powerhouses in Whirlpool, taking on the upstarts from Qatar. And I'm not just overhyping it, believe me.
And then the evening session kicks off with our number 2 seeds, runners up last year, Holland versus Sweden, then USA versus Croatia, England A versus Spain. But right now, can China pull it out of the fire? As you so duly noted, Ted, they've been thrown a lifeline.
Oh, wow. 3 balls down on the break. Shot on the 2 with angle. The 3 at the other end of the table, looking good right now. And you know, maybe people not as familiar with pool as we are, Jim, wondering, well, how do you know that China's got the momentum? That was a crushing scratch by Roman Hybler in the last rack. That you could just feel the air go out of the arena for the Czech Republic.
Nice shot there. Beautifully judged. Even his partner acknowledging it with a tap of the chalk. Roman knows. I mean, it was a great break apart from the cue ball finding gravity in the side pocket.
It wasn't kicked in, went straight in.
And he'll just force follow this, get down close to the 4. Cheating the pocket to keep the cue ball on the left-hand side. He's smiling, but he used all of that corner pocket. They came too far to go home early. Yeah, if there's any guarantees, though, in the world of pool at this level,
it's that there are none.
Yeah, it's that there are none.
Yeah, twists and turns. I would expect a few on the way to the finish line.
But you always see a team that wins the event, they've had a scare. Somewhere in the event, they could have gone home. They survive, and they can go on to win the event. Even the Philippines yesterday, Chile, a very game effort. Could easily have gone hill in that match.
Fantastic break and run out for China. 2 in a row. They tie it up, and Roman Hybler must still be thinking about that scratch. Amazing how quickly the momentum can change in the sport of pool. But he's just going to bide his time, because it can happen the other way around just as easily.
Yeah, you got to stay positive. Hope a chance arises, and be ready for it if and when it does. Like I said, they've got the experience. The team from China, they certainly have the ability. Both list
Back 11.
the
China
fastest
break,
man in the
5-5.
world, Usain Bolt, as their sporting hero.
Dang Jinhu. He didn't make the 1 ball. He's got the 5 ball down, but there is a shot on the 1.
And again, doesn't have to do too much. He'll need a bit of angle on the 2 because he's got to get over the other side of the table for the 3 to the same pocket. Just discussing where they want to leave the cue ball. This'll do. He's got the angle. Can either play this with left-hand topspin around the back of the 3 or kind of stun it into that cushion and over for the 3 to the same pocket. His choice. He's got the angle to do either. So 4 to 6 also poses a little concern. Wang is looking at this. Got to leave the right angle on the 4. And again, that looks perfect. Be able to come off that side cushion, Ted, and play the 6 to the same pocket. 2 minds thinking as one.
They've really taken advantage of that scratch several racks ago. They've taken that momentum and gone off to the races just like Usain Bolt.
Extension call.
Sprinting towards the finish line.
Yeah, the unfriendliest and most unwelcoming chair in the arena is when you've got to sit and watch another player, another team capitalize on your mistake. Helpless.
Boy, everything dead center of the pocket. These are the moments where champions are made. As you said, Jim, every single tournament, whether it be a singles or a doubles tournament, the winner always had a massive scare and could have been 1 ball, 1 turn of the ball from going out of the tournament. I've seen it time and time again. And who knows, for Team China, that could have been the moment.
Well, this team definitely has the makeup to be able to win this event, and they're showing it right now. From 5-3, they've won the last 3 in a row. And now enjoying a 6-5 advantage and will break for the last time in this match. But you know what impresses me about watching them play too is, you know, their cue ball control. Obviously they're very composed, they're enjoying it out there, but they've always left themselves the right angle. And just one off shot, one instance where they don't get that angle that they need, and the position is thrown out the window. But they're, you know, they're meticulous with that cue ball.
And I really like the way they've battled through the adversity of this match. Wang Can. And Dang Jinhu. They play together on the Chinese national team. It's a team that has support of the Chinese Olympic Committee, which means that this is what they do for a living. They practice every day. They are the professionals in the very sense of the word.
6-5, and for a place in the last 16, a good break here.
1 and the 2, and there will be a shot on the 3.
just getting across the head string to make it a legal break. That 3 just making it. Half of it getting to the head string, and that makes it a legal break. 3 balls have to pass that head string. Every ball pocketed counting as a ball having passed the head string. And Roman is wondering, as are we, will they get another chance? I wouldn't bet on it.
Extension call.
Looks like he can just try and kill it again, just as he did in the last shot. Try and hold for the 5, either into the side or the corner pocket, or he could try and, you know, bang this and come off 2 cushions, play the 5 to the same pocket. Missed the 6. That was important. Nicely played.
Think they're in the groove now?
That's always the sign of a quality team when they don't panic. 5-3 down, there was no panic at all. Waited for the chance, and they've planted the Czech Republic in their chairs.
Well, Jim, this is a major statement. The last 15 minutes here by Team China. So the winner of this match will go on to play the winner of England B, Darryl Peach and Chris Melling, versus India. Wow, what a statement. This 9 goes. It will be 3 straight break and runouts for Team China. They win in an excellent conclusion for them, 7-5 over a very disappointed Czech Republic team.